I think we can all agree that 2023 was quite an excellent year for games. It was up there with the likes of 2018 with the amount of quality and quantity of games that we were getting. I know all of us still have some 2023 games we have yet to play, but we also have a handful of games we are looking forward to for 2024. This list I have here is a handful of games I am looking forward to most, so if I don't talk about the game you're looking forward to, it's clearly because my taste in games is awful, and so am I as a human being. But if there is a game that you want to hear my thoughts on, you can always go to that part since timestamps are in the description. I really like this one, and this is one that I know my Hollow Knight fans are going to like. I know that some people tend to listen to the video rather than watch it, but if you do choose to watch this section, you can see this game is just really beautiful. This game has the same vibrant and aesthetically pleasing style Hollow Knight has. While I have nothing against games such as Dead Cells, Moonlighter, or Blasphemous, their art style is fine with me, but I'd much rather look at games like Hollow Knight or Crowsworn. The more interesting thing about Crowsworn is how this game has made over $1 million through Kickstarter backing alone. Just to put this into perspective, Hollow Knight made $57,000 from Kickstarter. Hollow Knight spawned a boom of new Metroidvania fans, and with Crowsworn being inspired from Bloodborne and Hollow Knight, I only have high hopes for this game. If you like what you see, in a recent update the devs announced this game will release in 2024. Out of all of the other games on this list, this game is in my top 3, only being beat out by the chances of Silksong, which let's be honest that probably won't happen, and Elden Ring's DLC. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what happened behind the scenes at Rocksteady, but I do know that I really don't like it. In the last 9 years, they have released 2 games, Arkham Knight and Batman VR, so for most people, 1 game in the last 9 years. Rocksteady did put out one of the best superhero trilogies in the span of 6 years. Rocksteady was one of my favorite developers at the time, and I had no idea there would be such a large gap in between games. The reason I have Suicide Squad on this list is because I want it to do well. But like Bungie, I'm more curious on how players will react to this game, and if it doesn't go as planned, what will happen to Rocksteady. We won't really know until the game is released, but every time I see discussion about this game, it's in a negative light. At first it was about how it's online only, or now how it's going to be a live service game. I don't look at this game with the same eyes that I do with the Arkham trilogy. Those games were great, but after not releasing anything for so long, I have to title myself as patiently optimistic. So there's no way Hades 2 doesn't come out this year. It was supposed to come out at the tail end of last year, but got kicked back. This year it should be launching in early access on PC. I think I'll wait this one out until the full launch to get the best experience possible, but hey, I have a few roguelikes I want to play since I got that itch scratched again after playing the new God of War DLC. But with Hades 2, I have 2 things that really catch my attention. The first one is the new protagonist and how she will be liked over Zagreus, and the second one is the new gods they're going to introduce. The thing is with the new gods is that Supergiant doesn't make sequels. So unless they wanted to use most of the same gods, they were going to have to use gods that weren't in the first game. And the thing is, they use most of the familiar gods in that game. So unless you're already a book of knowledge about the Greek pantheon, a lot of the gods will probably be new faces to you. We've all heard stories with Zeus or Ares, but the thought of learning the basics of new gods excites me. Honestly, it may just excite me because I'm a fan of the old God of War games and it gives me a burst of nostalgia. I dropped out of playing Destiny a little after Forsaken was released. I did everything I wanted to do in that expansion and put down Destiny for the most part. I had over 4,000 hours on that franchise, so it was definitely different not logging into Destiny every day. The reason I put this here is because I can't deny that I'm interested to see the conclusion of the Light and Dark story. I won't be playing it, but rather I'm interested to see what the general player base thinks of one of Destiny's first major conclusions. Not only that, but Bungie and Destiny itself has been a bit of a shit show for the past little while. I'm sure all of you know what's going on: layoffs, player sentiment at a low point, microtransactions gouging players. An IGN article said Sony may take over the whole company if Bungie continues to miss milestones, but worst of all for Bungie, there are players that are going to permanently put down Destiny when this expansion is done. A lot of people have been playing Destiny for a while now, and Final Shape is the perfect time to close that book like I did many years ago. If this expansion doesn't do what Bungie hopes it will do, we may see a completely different Bungie in the years to come. So I know a lot of my fans are Elden Ring and Souls players. And now that we've all seen the Game Awards, Elden Ring wasn't there. And that has led me to the conclusion that Elden Ring, and maybe even From Software, doesn't play by the rules. I was around for the first Elden Ring hollowing. I watched every daily Elden Ring update, and I nearly went hollow. But in all seriousness, if you don't remember, Elden Ring was officially revealed in 2019, and that's really prominent for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that Sekiro came out that exact year, so From Software were quite confident to not only release a brand new IP, but also reveal a brand new IP with the famous George R.R. Martin name. The second notable reason is that this game went completely silent for 2 whole years. So doing that form of marketing certainly has been done before, although it's just different. So, do I think Elden Ring's DLC is going to be releasing this year? Yeah, I do, absolutely. Although I'm not going to be banking on the thought process that FromSoft will be predictable. Elden Ring had its 1-year birthday on the 25th of last year, and we didn't get that DLC tweet. But then they decided to tweet this beauty out a few days after the 1-year anniversary. I fully suspect FromSoftware to catch us all off guard. In my eyes, they've been doing this since 2019 with Elden Ring's official reveal trailer. And with that, I will be pleasantly surprised when I wake up one day, check Twitter, and see FromSoft made a tweet in the middle of the night announcing Shadow of the Erdtree's release date. So let me just start off by saying that I don't know if Silksong is coming out this year. It's not that I've lost all hope for Team Cherry, but rather, I've lost all hope on expecting any word on Silksong. Team Cherry has been pretty silent for a while now, and with this game being absent at the Game Awards, I've decided that I'll play it when I play it. Without even thinking, Hollow Knight is my favorite indie game ever made. So I'm not upset that it's taking time, rather, I'm just curious what is happening behind the scenes with this game. Regardless of what's happening, I do believe this game has been put on ice more than once. If Silksong does come out this year, I plan to heavily lean into that form of content. However, let's not forget that Matthew Griffin did say that development is still continuing. I do trust that Silksong will come out one day or another. I highly doubt Team Cherry ran out of funds or completely iced the game. They did sign a deal after all for Silksong, which would put the game on Game Pass day one. It's just going to take some time. And if you're one of the few that haven't played Hollow Knight yet, I urge you to try it. When I first saw Black Myth Wukong, it really grabbed my attention unlike most other trailers do. I don't get on board with the game just from one trailer, but with Black Myth Wukong's trailer, I was kind of on board from the start. And I feel like that's not the most uncommon story to be told. Lots of people saw the trailer for the first time, and the internet kind of went crazy for it. At the time, artistically and graphically, it was unlike something I've ever seen before. I know my average viewer is a fan of Souls, and this is a Souls-like set in the Wukong mythos. Although Black Myth Wukong seems to have more of a combat stance style, similar to Ghost of Tsushima and, if my memory serves me correctly, the Nioh games. Along with Lies of P's DLC and the Elden Ring DLC, Souls fans like myself have a lot to look forward to this year. Black Myth Wukong should be coming out August 20th. In the year of Baldur's Gate, Tears of the Kingdom, and Alan Wake 2, Lies of P was my game of the year. I really do have high hopes for this team, and I really enjoy seeing what Ji-Won Choi has to say. I've read a lot of articles Ji-Won Choi has been in, and he has a really unique perspective on a lot of things. Shortly after the release of Lies of P, a DLC and sequel was confirmed, and I'm not exaggerating when I say shortly. About 5 weeks after the release of Lies of P, this news was confirmed by Round 8 Studio and Ji-Won Choi himself. I could be stepping in the wrong direction with this, but with how quick the expansion and sequel was announced, I think that everyone kind of knew they had a working formula with this team. Not only was it announced so quickly, but Lies of P released in such a polished state that the team could have started working on the DLC prior to the actual release of the game. This DLC has not been confirmed to be out this year, but something to note is that the whole game of Lies of P was built in 3 years. But with the DLC, they naturally have a lot of framework to build off of. Not only that, but they also could have skeletons of content that wasn't finished for the base game. Levels, boss ideas, weapon ideas, you get the point. As a quick guess, I'm going to say that Lies of P's DLC will release at the tail end of this year, very similar to how most FromSoft DLCs land around the 1-year mark. If you're a Souls fan and you care at all about bosses or combat, I really think you will enjoy Lies of P. And that's about it. Please let me know that since I didn't talk about your favorite game, that you hate me as a person, and that you also know for a fact that my taste is awful. But if you aren't in the mood to say that because you still have the holly jolly Christmas spirit, you can let me know what you're looking forward to most in the comments.